Hey everyone, it's Kenny with the Long Run with Kenny. I finished the Asheville Marathon last Saturday, so it's been a week. So I just wanted to recap how it went, which was awesome. I finished with a final time of a 4:21:35, and my goal was 4:20. I made it. I'm really happy with that. That's actually almost an hour faster than my last road marathon back in 2017. So that's a huge accomplishment. I'm reveling in it. I'm still reveling in it. Overall, it was just a fantastic race. Being back out in my old training grounds was just so, it was bittersweet, but it was just, I don't know. I fell in love with the city again, right? Like seeing the recovery that we've made in the past 6 months since Hurricane Helene, and just being back out at that race and having everyone together in the community. I mean, of course, we had a lot of people out of state, and that also was awesome too to have them come in. But you could tell that the locals were just stoked to be there, to have this, big, fantastic hosting event again, to kind of reclaim its sense of normalcy and kind of get back into the swing of things. We are touristic, or tourism is our biggest industry here, and this was a big deal to have this. And I'm really really thankful of New Belgium for sponsoring it. Their finish line activities and party were fantastic. It was a great time meeting my friends and having a beer and just enjoying the food trucks and stretching out on their grass on their lawn. I got lucky with race weather, and in general, yeah, just fantastic. Just some quick stats, I guess. So I finished 4:21:35. That's about a 9:59 minute mile pace, pretty good. I came in ninth out of 28 of my age and gender group, which is the top 30%. So I'm really proud of that. Race had about 1,011 feet gain. Most of that was in the first half of the race. The second half kind of ran along the river, so it was relatively flat. And just for if you're wondering for what I wore, here's a picture from the race. Thanks to the race photographers. I just wore last year's race shirt, just to kind of have a little callback. And my Patagonia shorts, which are always my go-to. My ultras, I wear Torrens. And for this particular race, I did not bring headphones or a phone, so I'm just wearing a spy belt. And inside of that, I have a few packets of goos. And that's really all I brought with me. I ran really, really light, and it was nice. So everything you're going to see in this video later, all the photos, all of those were taken before the race. I didn't bring my phone. So so let's go ahead and do a little route recap. All right, as we start our little flyover review of the Asheville Marathon course, I'm going to start at Pack Square, downtown Asheville, and run through parts of North Asheville filled with really gorgeous and historic homes near the Grove Park Inn, as well as we're going to head back eventually. We're going to hit spots like Montford, some just really gorgeous areas, great crowd support throughout this part. I'll spend this time though just talking a little bit about race prep. For food, so in the morning I had a smoothie and some overnight oats that I'd prepared the night before. This tends to be my go-to meal before big runs like this, and it tends to work for me. Also, as Jen drove me to the starting line, I also had a honey stinger, and then 15 minutes before the race started, I ate a goo, which is like an energy gel, and I've been using those for about 15 years. I had a goo every 45 minutes along the way. I alternate caffeine and non-caffeine ones. The system seems to work for me. I also took a water break at every single aid station. I would walk through them slowly and just sip a few sips of water. I did have one Gatorade by accident because I just misheard the woman and I'm dumb. So that was kind of it for my meal prep and race strategy, so to speak. I also did take a bathroom break around mile 12. So yeah, here you can see we're kind of heading on Montford Avenue, I believe, right now. Again, just this whole part of the race, I felt great. The whole first half, the miles just flew by. The crowd was amazing. The weather was perfect. It was 50 degrees, kind of cloudy. Really just feeling great. And in particular, here as we head into downtown Asheville, this was really cool. I don't recall getting to run through Wall Street and downtown proper for a race before, and that was just really awesome for me that they included this in the race course. What gets interesting here is that we're going to make our way over to parts of West Asheville coming up, and that was really tough for me, and particularly the River Arts District, which is where we're running through now. I had not been out to this area since the storm 6 months ago, and you can see as this flyby, that's the river right there, the French Broad River on the right. So this area received incredibly terrible flooding. On the left there, you can see on that satellite view, there's some art galleries and restaurants and a skate park and a winery that we all really enjoyed, and all of those have been unfortunately destroyed. Same thing here as you follow along, running into Carrier Park and eventually onto Hominy Creek. Again, these are my go-to training routes that I've been doing for over 8-9 years since I've lived here. They're nice and flat, they're beautiful, but after the storm, it's a totally different landscape. It's just everything is like a sandy beach where used to be nice lush greenery. They're doing a great job repairing it and cleaning it up, but it's been a long, slow process. And this was really bittersweet for me to run on this area. It was great to reclaim it back again, but it was a definite change in landscape, and just really just tough to see. And you see here we're backtracking past that area on the right again with the really awesome breweries, and these just memories of being with friends and enjoying this space. As we pump into the 20-mile plus section here, this was the hardest part for me. Is here we're going to run along an area called it's Riverside Drive. It's a frontage road. You can see I-26 is on the right, French Broad River is on the left. And again, this area here used to be has a lot of industrial buildings, but also has a beautiful brewery and an amazing outdoor music venue called Salvage Station. This was physically and mentally the hardest part. You can see my pace is kind of starting to creep up closer to that 10:30. This was just really, really a tough part of the race. It's just hard to look at, and you could just tell your body, like my hips are like starting to actually feel it. My legs are feeling it. I just want to be done. And then this is the super rude part. There's the brewery right there on the right. And so people are celebrating, finishing. They're having their beers, checking out, hanging out in the beautiful patio, and you still have 3 miles to go. And so we ran down this section of the Greenway, again, finishing at French Broad River Park, which again used to be a beautiful, lush greenery, is now just a sand, like filled beach. Really tough to see again. But as you come back around, you can see my pace. I knew I was pretty close to hitting my goal. I tried to kick it up here a little bit to finish strong, and I did. And I had a great race crew waiting for me at the finish line.
She's coming!
So yeah, I'm really fortunate. I had such a cool race crew waiting for me at the end. I want to say thanks to my wife Jen, my friend Corinne, and my friend Becca, who is the one that was shouting and throwing confetti at me. What a way to finish a race, right? So yeah, if you're looking for a good first-time half marathon and you live near Asheville, I would highly recommend this. IDAF does a great job organizing this race, and along with other races in the area over the whole year. It runs through some really interesting parts of the town. You kind of get a nice spread. The full marathon, my only critique is, man, that last part on Riverside was really tough. But I know it's a really crucial stretch of long, flat running, so I get why that part of the course they tend to use that part in the course and on their other races too, and I get it. But man, it's just grueling, especially after seeing the damage from Hurricane Helene and having some of these buildings are like literally collapsed, or have kind of things like looters will be shot, spray painted on the side. It's a tough thing to look at, but it happened. It's what our community experienced, and it's the remnants that are still there. But yeah, check out my blog. I write a little bit more in depth about this particular race, and where we are now is I'm gonna now start. This is week 1 of my official 28-week guide for my 100-miler race in September. So my next video, I think I'll talk a little bit about how I chose that training guide and how it's going. So, but this week I'm still running. I think I'm trying to hit maybe 18-19 miles total for the week, but I definitely gave myself a little bit of a break and of course celebrated. I think that's the most important part, is just celebrating your goals, because yeah, you worked hard for it.